here we are. Good evening. If you're watching now or at a different time, thanks for coming to do yoga with me in your living room or wherever you do your yoga. Part of why I'm doing yoga at the time I'm doing it on Tuesdays and Saturdays is because that's when I usually teach yoga, when I'm not staying at home and when everybody's not staying at home. So I thought it was really important for me to keep that routine and just have that choice and that option for other people who like to have some routine in their life too. I think a lot of people have kind of been finding themselves when you're staying at home and you're trying to manage all of your new expectations with your work and your family and everything else. So I am hoping to put a little bit of routine back in place just by keeping these classes where they are. So we're going to start off this evening just by sitting nice and tall and start rolling your shoulders back. Start to slow your breath down. Inhale those shoulders forward and up and over the top. Exhaling, letting the shoulder blades drop down the back. And just letting your shoulders settle down your back, letting your arms stay really loose at your sides. Starting off with a 3-part breath, and we're going to try to keep this breath throughout our practice tonight. Just mindfully breathing all the way down into the low belly on your inhale. So breathing low, expanding into that low belly. You can put a hand there to feel that breath expand if you like. And as you exhale, drawing the navel in. And if your breath is like water being poured into a glass, then your body is like the glass. Your breath is hitting the bottom first, just like water would hit the bottom of the glass first. And as you continue to breathe, you can start to expand your breath, inhaling into the low belly, expanding up into the side body, and exhaling, pulling in through the sides, pulling in through the belly. Still keeping the rib cage quiet. The rib cage isn't moving very much at this point. You can start to practice some Ujjayi breath here. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose if you can. If you're very congested or anything, you can just breathe as you normally would breathe. But breathing in and out through the nose if you can. Your lips are closed over your teeth are slightly separated, and it's like saying H-A and closing your mouth over your teeth. Inhaling, expanding all the way up to the top of the collarbones, adding the 3rd part to that breath. And then as you exhale, pulling in through the ribs, and through the sides, and through the low belly. So again, inhaling, expand through the belly, sides, rib cage. And as you exhale, pulling in through the ribs, in through the sides, and through the low belly. Let's add some movement to this. Inhale, sitting up tall, lifting through the rib cage. Eyes can look up. As you exhale, reverse that. Ribs pull in, sides pull in, low belly pulls in. Drop the chin, open up the spine. Inhale, lifting up onto the sits bones. Inhaling belly, sides, ribs. And as you exhale, dropping the chin, letting that breath determine your movement. Trying to create some space in between your vertebrae. Taking 1 or 2 more on your own. And this last time here, nice full breath, 3-part breath in. And as you exhale, opening up that spine a little bit more, bringing it back center, sitting nice and tall, bringing those shoulders down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, pressing through your palms, sinking the shoulder blades down the back. And again, inhale, scooping up that breath really strong through the arms. Exhale, pressing through, dropping the shoulders down, close to the hips. Inhale, lifting up. Exhaling over to one side, really tall down the side body. You can look up at that thumb, rolling the rib cage open to the ceiling. Inhale up. Exhale, switching sides, other way. Taking a breath here, getting a little bit more distance all the way down the side of the ribs, all the way from your hand to your hip. Inhale, lift, and then just exhale, center. So we will just come on up to stand and keep going with our sun salutation. We're gonna build up some heat. Come up to the top of your mat, and if you have yoga blocks or a yoga block at home, you can have it right near the top of your mat if you like having that for your sun salutations. Spread out through your toes. You can plant your big toe and lift up all four little toes, reach them out. And then plant your little toes and lift up your big toe. And then planting that firmly. Lift up through the kneecaps. Roll the shoulders back. Find a strong mountain pose. Inhale to lift up. Scooping up that breath. As you exhale, diving down. Find a forward fold. Take a couple breaths here. You can let your arms go with gravity. You can put a block there to bring the floor up to your hands. Feel that breath expand. You're using your 3-part breath, expanding into the belly, the sides, and the ribs. If you need to sway a little bit, you can sway and shake your head out. And on your next inhale, inhaling halfway up. Exhaling back down, ribs, sides, belly. Inhaling all the way up, rooting through the feet, lifting tall through the heart. Exhale, open it up into your mountain pose, really wide from shoulder to shoulder, lift it up through the heart. Inhale, scooping that breath up. Legs are strong. Exhale, reach through the crown of the head, reach back through the tailbone, back into your forward fold. Relaxing into that again. If you'd like to hold your arms, your elbows in front of your face, if you'd like to hold the backs of the legs, or if you'd like to place your hands under your feet, you can do any of those options. Start to maybe set some intention for your practice, thinking about what brought you to the mat, allowing yourself to be present with your breath. Breathing into the belly, breathing into the upper back. One more breath here. Backs of the legs are unwinding a little bit more. Inhale halfway. Exhale back down. Deep inhale all the way up. Unfurl your spine. Exhaling into your mountain pose. Really wide across those shoulders. And if you're not at the top of your mat, come up to the top. Keep your feet strong. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and dive down. Reach through the top of the head. Drop the chin. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale back down into your forward fold. Taking that right foot, giant step back, floating into a tall lunge. And you can take some time to place your feet here. Your hands can be on your mat or on the block at any height. They can be up on your thigh bone. So when you're finding that lunge, you just want to find a foot placement and hand placement that allows you to keep a really tall spine all the way from your tailbone up to the top of your head. Feel some strength as you press the shoulders away from the ears. You can start to add some movement if you'd like to through that back foot. Rolling through that foot a little bit. If you'd like to add some front knee extension, go for it. If there's room for that on this side of the body. Staying firm through the big toe in your front foot. Inhaling as you extend, exhaling, navel draws into the body. Keeping those hips square to the front edge of your mat, so you're spinning that right hip forward. Keeping that spine really tall. And on your last exhale here, bring the back knee all the way down to the mat, flattening through those toenails. Inhale and lift up. Really firm support through that front foot, through the back shin. Lift your spine super tall. Get some space between the vertebrae. If it bothers your shoulders to be tall, you can take your hands to heart center, or you can keep them in mountain, so whatever's going to work for you. Breathe low into the belly. Send your breath all the way down into that hip. 3-part breath. And as you exhale, bring it back down to the mat. Tuck your back toes under. Step into a plank on your toes or on your knees. Hands are right under your shoulders. Navel pulls up towards the spine. And you can be, again, toes or knees, either one. Really firming up here. Find your tall standing mountain posture. Let those muscles activate. Spread your fingers out really big. Spin the creases of the elbows forward. Slide those shoulders down away from the ears. Lots of good breath. One more here. And as you exhale, slowly come down in chaturanga. Elbows are in tight to the rib cage, skimming your sides all the way to the mat. Toenails contact the mat. Inhale, lift the heart off the mat. Find baby cobra. You can float your hands a little bit if you like. Reaching long through your toes. Roll those shoulders open. Feel those muscles in the low back starting to kick in and engage. So we are keeping the glutes out of it and just letting those low back muscles work a little bit. Reach long through the heart. Bringing that back down. Plant your palms. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, finding your cobra. You can lift any amount here, so you can go little or a lot. Your back, your low back should not hurt. It should feel like a good stretch. But if it's painful, back off. Don't do anything that hurts. One more breath here into the low belly, all the way up into the ribs. Inhale the toes under. Exhale, shift it back. Downward facing dog, first one of our practice today. And you can just take a minute if you'd like to, pedal that out, walk the dog. Big extension through those arms. Feel where your body's at tonight. Letting those heels melt toward the mat. If you ever need a greater recovery beyond your downward dog, you can always take a child's pose anytime during your practice and then just jump right back in whenever you're ready. Couple more breaths here, starting to let the heart melt down between the shoulders, reaching the tailbone up, letting those heels melt down. One more breath. Exhale the navel into the spine. Eyes look forward, walking up right and left. Placing your feet for your forward fold. Take a deep breath all the way up. Rooting strong through the arms, strong through the legs. Exhale to your heart center, matching those palms, drawing that midline all the way into your mountain pose. So up here, you can kind of just take a minute, check and see where you're at. You can see where your shoulders are sitting, how your arms are hanging from your shoulders. If you're holding your weight more on one side of your body than the other, just notice where you're at. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Spread out through your toes, lift up through those knees, roll it open. Take a deep inhale up, scooping that breath. Exhale, dive down, reach through the head, top the head, drop the chin. Inhale halfway. Exhaling your hands to the mat, left foot this time, giant step back. Taking some time to just find that lunge, place your feet. Again, if you need something to place your hands, whatever is going to help you maintain that tall spine from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Use your inhale to reach tall through the top of the head, reach back through that back foot. Use your exhale to let the hips melt down into your lunge. Use your exhale to draw the navel up into the body, keep firm support. And if you'd like to add some movement on this side, if there's room for it, you can start to roll through that back foot. If you'd like to add some front knee extension, you can start to add that extension here. And you might notice as you extend through the front knee that your hips want to drift open to the left here. So do your best to keep them squared up to the front of your mat. Spinning that left hip forward, big toe on your front foot stays planted. And on your next exhale, bringing that all the way back down to the mat, flattening through your toes. Firm pressure through both feet. Inhale to lift, finding that low lunge, low crescent. Lift up through the heart. Your gaze can be forward. It can be up to your thumbs. Send your breath really low in the belly. Try and expand all the way into that left hip. You're gliding your weight forward into your front foot. You're lifting through the heart. You're reaching your thumbs back. You're reaching the back big toe to the back wall. On your next exhale, bring your hands down to the mat, tall through the crown of the head. Tuck your toes under, step into your plank. Again, you can arrive in your plank and stay on your toes, or you can drop down to the knees, whatever's gonna work. Taking a breath here. And on your next breath, chaturanga down, scooping through with your breastbone, inhaling up into your cobra. Again, any amount. Next breath, chaturanga down, scooping through with your breastbone, inhaling up into your cobra. Again, any amount. Send the heart forward. Try to even out the pressure in all of your fingers. Feel the undersides of your knuckles connecting to the mat. Reaching back through the toes and the shoulders. You can look forward, you can look up if there's room for it. Inhale the toes under. Exhale, shifting back into your downward dog. Navel draws inward. Heels melt down. And you can, again, see where you're at, getting a little warmer. If you want to go a little bit pigeon-toed, you can, letting those heels repel away from each other, letting the thigh bones spin in their sockets just a little bit inward. Inhale your spine taller. Exhale, reach through the sits bones. Let the heart melt down between the shoulders. As you exhale, let the navel draw into the spine. Lots of strong energy from the undersides of your knuckles, all the way up the arms, all the way to the ribs. Ribs reach to the hips. Hips reach to the ceiling. Eyes looking forward, walking that up left and right. Placing your feet, trying to find forward fold right here. Relax the upper body, relax the shoulders and the arms, spread out those toes. You can use your hands to help if you'd like. Take a deep breath all the way up, lifting tall. Exhale to your heart center, finding that really balanced finishing spot. Bring yourself back into your mountain. And just see where you're at again, noticing where your weight is, noticing where your balance is. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit warmer. We're gonna add on. And I'm gonna grab a little water. So from here at the top of your mat, spread out through your toes. Bring your big toes together and your heels slightly separate. Take a nail halfway up. Exhale back down. Bending the knees, inhale into a chair pose. So you can start up high in your chair pose and extend those arms long. And as you sit lower and reach back through the hips, as you draw the thumbs backward, it becomes more challenging. So figure out where's the edge of your pose tonight. You can also have your hands in heart center or down in mountain at any time. So finding your chair pose, being strong, lots of good breath here. As you breathe, you're finding opposition in your stretch. I'm gonna face you. So as you breathe, you're finding this opposition. You're inhaling the top of the head taller, sitting back through the hips. You're inhaling, reaching through the fingertips, setting the shoulders down the back. You're pressing those legs to the midline of the body, feeling that zipped up feeling. Reaching back with those hips, take 2 more breaths. Lots of strength here, letting those legs get so warm. Exhaling, wide band of muscles, cinches in for support. 3-part breath, slow breath. Inhale to lift, little reprieve. Exhale, diving down, drop the chin. Inhale up back into your chair. And you can stay right here, or if you'd like to, you can hinge into a tabletop with your chair. So my belly button's pulling up strong. You can stay here if you'd like to add movement. Inhaling one arm back. Exhale to switch. And again, moving with your breath. Trying to keep your hands perfectly opposite of each other. Reach back through the hips. Reach forward through the crown of the head. Pressing strong and firm through those feet, those legs. Legs are locking to that midline. 2 more breaths. Legs are feeling super warm. Reach back through the hips. Last one, bringing both arms up, big breath. And exhale back to your mountain. Shoulders roll back and open. Spread out through your toes. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, diving down, long spine. Dropping the chin. Inhale, halfway. Exhale your hands to the mat, right foot back into a lunge. So our feet are hip distance apart. We're on railroad tracks as opposed to a tightrope. And once you feel like your legs are really firm and stable, inhale to lift up into a high lunge. So from here, level the hips out, firm up through that front foot, really strong, big toe, pinky toe, heel. You can either stay here or if you'd like to, inhaling to extend, exhale to lift. Really long extension, moving that spine, keeping it extended the whole time. So you can let your eyes track forward, or you can take your gaze and follow those thumbs as you move in this really beautiful arc. Staying tall. 2 more breaths. And last one. Take your hands all the way to the mat. Step into your plank. Take a breath. Chaturanga down and through. Elbows are in tight to the ribs. Inhale, lifting up. If you're feeling warm enough to go from a cobra to an up dog, you can go to the tops of the feet. Extend the elbows. Exhale into your downward facing dog. Heels melt down. Take a breath here. Feel those hands connecting to the mat. And inhale that right leg way up. Exhale, draw that toward your chin. So we're still really squared up here. Hips and shoulders are square. Try not to let the hips open to the side. So we're keeping them square to the mat. Use your breath to move and find that range of motion in your hip. Exhale, strong pull through the core, strong pull through that front knee. And on your last one here, drawing that forward and through, planting your foot, finding your lunge on this side of the body. And once you feel like your feet are firm, inhale to lift up. Finding that lunge on the other side. So you can take a minute, level out those hips, lift up through the spine, set the shoulders strong down the back. We're reaching firm through the back foot, finding how far apart your feet are going to be, the depth of this lunge. Heart is lifted. So strong. Strong exhale draws that navel in so you have good support. You can stay right here or you can add that movement. Inhaling as you extend long, exhaling as you lift back up. And you can move any amount. So you can do a really big sweeping arc or you can just do a smaller extension. So be really mindful of your spine, of your movement. Be kind to yourself with your practice. We don't want anything to hurt. Keeping that extension, imagining a string tied to the top of your head and just pulling you through this long arc. Last one here. Take your hands all the way to the mat. Step into your plank, toes or knees. Spread out those fingers. Take a breath. Exhale, chaturanga through, scooping with that breastbone. Inhale to lift up, cobra or upward dog. Exhale into your downward facing dog. Take a breath. Take that left leg this time. Inhale, way up. Exhale, draw that knee forward toward your chin. So again, you can play around with that range of motion. Just notice where you're at on this side of the body. It might be the same as your right leg, and it might not. That's okay, either one. Lots of good breathing. Using that inhale to extend, keeping those hips squared up. Lots of strength from the glutes. Using that exhale to draw that knee forward and through. 2 more times. Arms are still really strong. Shoulders are firm and steady away from the ears. Last one, walking all the way forward into your forward fold. Relax the upper body. Shake out the head a little bit. Take a deep inhale all the way up. And exhale, open back into your mountain. Just taking up that space physically and with your breathing and with your presence in your pose and your breath. So we're going to keep adding on to this. I know I'm feeling warmer. Hopefully you guys are feeling warmer too. We're going to keep adding on. So we're going to add some rotation this time. So we'll start the same way. Come up to the top of your mat. Connect those big toes. And if you feel wobbly, with your feet really close together. So if you're wobbly here with your toes together and your heels slightly apart, you can go to hip distance apart and do your chair pose right there. Be fine too. So keep it to a point where you feel like you have really good control over your poses. So from here, finding your feet, lifting up through that whole posture. Inhale to lift up. Exhale and dive down. Inhaling up into your chair pose, figuring out where you're going to be with that. Exhale to heart center. And from here, we're going to take that left hand to the outside of your thigh bone. You can do a hand to the hip. One. Exhale to armpit. It's okay. To your plank, toes or knees, right leg wood through, planting your foot. So we're still on railroad tracks. We still have the part. And from here, you can have your left hand on the mat, or you can have it on a block, whatever you really like, whatever's gonna work. So if you need something taller, and we're gonna spin that right hand open. So from here, reaching back through that back foot, forward through the top of your head, opening the heart to the side wall. Take some time with that breathing, inhaling yourself taller through your back foot, through the top of your head. Exhaling, feeling that twist and that rotation, opening the heart to the side of the room. And then closing that back up, taking your right foot back into your plank. Take a breath, moving through that chaturanga. Inhaling up into your cobra or your upward dog. Exhaling into downward facing dog. And from here, adding a bear. So your hands are strong, your fingers are connected to the mat. We're going to inhale the knees toward the mat and exhale, extend. And you're just bringing those kneecaps almost all the way to the mat, just barely kissing the mat with your kneecaps. And keeping your spine really tall. You can keep that right there if you want to. You can add a jump. So you can work through that rotation. Leading with the tailbone, landing softly if you are. Hands are really strong. Oh, and I'm being told that we are stalled out.
I don't even know if it's recording, but it's not recording. So.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pause for a moment, okay, guys?